Madrid agreed deal for Ajax star. There's controversy in UEFA's Team of the Year. Cavani makes a stand. We've got a transfer roundup and today's power rankings all coming up in the next few minutes. As I'm your host, Matt Froelich, you are the Onefootballers, and this is the Daily News. So first up to Real Madrid, who apparently doubled down on their verbal agreement for Ajax star Donny van der Beek. Last summer, you'll remember there was a bid of around 50 to 55 million pounds for the midfielder, which Ajax said they've accepted, but it'll only go through next summer. Well, that summer is in fact coming up, and it seems that Real Madrid are still very intent on signing him at the start of June. This means that they're probably less likely to go after Paul Pogba. It was reported that last summer, after they made this Van der Beek deal, verbally of course, nothing's actually written down just yet, Zidane said that he really wants to focus on bringing Pogba in, and Van der Beek would be a second option. The irony is that if Manchester United did get rid of Pogba, then Van der Beek would have been their backup. But now their backup isn't there, so Real Madrid maybe don't want Paul Pogba, so it looks like Man United might still be stuck with him. Anyway, there are plenty of other targets for them to go out and pursue, such like Hakim Ziyech, Jack Grealish and James Maddison as well. As what it means for the star, well, he's deserved this move to Real Madrid after being part of such a brilliant Ajax team last season, and this season he's continued in fine form as well. Will it be enough to get him into the power rankings? Well, you have to wait and see in a few minutes. But moving on and to an atrocity in the Team of the Year. That is from what I've seen on Twitter. Basically, UEFA opened the voting to fans for their Team of the Year based off 50 players that they had put into the selection. This is obviously all the players who did fantastic in UEFA competitions and around European leagues last season. Now, the big debate is that Cristiano Ronaldo is in the team in a 4-2-4 formation. Now, from what I've seen, everybody's complaining that this formation has been selected just to fit Ronaldo in the team. He hasn't got as many votes as the other forwards like Lewandowski, Mane and Messi, and what it's done is basically taken one more midfielder out and put in another attacker. The midfielder to miss out is N'Golo Kante. My one issue with this is I haven't actually seen any proof that UEFA specifically chose this formation just to squeeze Ronaldo in. Everyone's saying it, I don't know, probably because they hate Ronaldo. I'm not saying whether I'm for or against Ronaldo in the team. I'm just saying there's not actually any proof that they specifically chose this formation to put him in. I mean, yeah, it probably makes sense that they did because he's their golden boy, he's their big marketing sort of star, and well, it's Cristiano Ronaldo at the end of the day. I'm not overly convinced though, without any actual proof, that they did take Kante out for him. After all, they could have taken out a defender as well and played like a 3-4-3 or a 3-5-2 or something. I'm not so sure. Anyway, you guys let me know your thoughts in the comment section about who would have made your Team in the Year and whether or not Ronaldo really is being shoehorned into that side. But moving on to some transfer business, where Edinson Cavani, in an attempt to force a move away from PSG, has actually said he won't be training or playing for the rest of the January transfer window. That's because he wants his future to be sorted out with a move to Atletico Madrid, more than likely on the cards. The one stumbling block is that Madrid don't want to pay as much as PSG are asking for, which is around £30 million. This seems like a hell of a lot of money to charge. His contract's running out in 6 months, so Atletico know they can get him on a free, but they're probably going to need him for the rest of the season. They are quite goal shy, they're trailing behind Barca and Real in La Liga, and they're going to need to pull off something spectacular if they're going to get past Liverpool in the last 16 of the Champions League. Let's face it, when it comes to playing against Liverpool, you're probably going to concede, so you're going to need to score a few goals of your own. What this means though is that Cavani's basically pulling a bit of a Rabiot card, and it wouldn't be a surprise if PSG kicked him down to the under-23s for the rest of his contract. As we mentioned before, 30 million does seem like quite a lot for a striker in his early 30s. I mean, look at the Christian Eriksen deal to Inter Milan. He's 27 years old, pretty much at the peak of his powers, and he's going to be going for around 15 to 20 million. I'm not so sure Cavani is worth almost double that. So next up, we come to a quick roundup of the rest of the day's transfer news, where Spurs want to add Porto striker Zelouise to their squad. David Moyes is interested in bringing Ross Barkley to West Ham on loan. Bayern Munich are looking at Shakhtar Brazilian defender Dodo, and Schalke have brought in Jean-Claude Todibo from Barcelona on a loan deal with a view to a permanent signing. So here we are now at the Onefootball Power Rankings. Of course, this is where we look at loads of players from around Europe's top 5 leagues and assimilate them into some sort of list. Of course, as usual, we are only looking at the European competitions and the domestic leagues, so you can forget about all the other cups. Without further ado though, let's get ahead and look at numbers 10 to 6 this week. Timo Werner is in at number 10 with Jadon Sancho at number 9. Adama Traore drops down to 8th. Luis Suarez is actually up 1 to 7th with Dimitri Payet dropping dropping out, and Marco Reus at number 6. And if you're wondering why those Bundesliga players are still in there, even though the Bundesliga is still on winter break, well, it's the fact that all the other leagues that have come back, some of the players still haven't done enough to do better than the Bundesliga players did in their last 5 matches. But moving on to the top 5 now, and a non-mover at number 5 is Romelu Lukaku. He's continued his brilliant form for Inter Milan, and he is far from the player we saw traipsing around the Old Trafford pitch last season. Despite not scoring at the weekend, Antonio Conte seems to be getting the best out of his front man, and he's got 5 goals and 2 assists in his last 5 games. In at number 4, and it's Cristiano Ronaldo, dropping down 2 places from 2nd last week. It's pretty much because he didn't actually do much at the weekend, and that kind of took his overall rating down. Yes, he did score what ended up to be the winning penalty against Roma, but apart from that, didn't really do much else. His start to 2020 has been scintillating though, with that hat-trick in the game before that, so Cristiano Ronaldo sits in 4th. In at number 3, and it's Riyad Mahrez. He was teetering around just outside the top 10 after good performances against Sheffield United and Everton, but then bam! Man City roll into Villa Park, score 6, Riyad Mahrez getting 2 of them and an assist, and it is a stunning performance which has literally catapulted him into the top 3. Sure, Pep Guardiola will be hoping for more of that come the rest of the season. Oh, and if you're wondering why hat-trick hero Sergio Aguero isn't in the top 10, well, yes, he did score a hat-trick against Aston Villa and break Thierry Henry's record, but aside from that, the 4 games before that only brought him 1 goal. Remember, we're looking at the last 5 matches, not just the last game. So into the top 2 now, and we've got a fight on our hands. Last week's winner Neymar is in there again, and he's facing up against someone rather familiar. So first off, and yes, last week's winner Neymar is still up there. He's continued his brilliant form with 2 goals against Monaco on Sunday, and when they played the same opponent last night, he got another goal and another assist. That means he has 6 goals and 6 assists in the last 5 Champions League and Ligue 1 games for PSG. Again, no matter what you think of him, he's doing the business on the pitch, and maybe, just maybe, this could be Neymar's year. Before he gets injured, that is. And pushing him for top spot this week is his teammate Kylian Mbappe. 7 goals, 2 assists in the last 5 games. The forward is absolutely flying. Literally in the power rankings and on the pitch as well. He bagged 2 goals against former club Monaco, which saw them run out 4-1 winners, and despite not scoring in the game before that, his overall form has just been brilliant. As I mentioned, 7 goals in the last 5 games. In fact, he didn't even score one of them, so it's probably 7 goals in the last 4. But without further ado, I can reveal this week that the winner of the power rankings is Neymar. 3rd week in a row. The Brazilian really is doing the business on the field, and long may it continue for all of them who say that he's just a diving crybaby who does absolutely nothing. That may be partly true. Of course, let me know what you think about the power rankings, who would have been your number 1 and the rest of today's daily news in the comments section down below. Watch today, you can smash the like button and click here or here to check out all of the other videos we've got going on Onefootball. But until next time, have a great day, and I'll see you guys later.